The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Tonight, how students are adjusting to a new elementary school.
We'll have that and more coming up. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Vermilion High School is celebrating homecoming this week. Welcome to Coyote News. I'm Xander Hull.
And I'm Ava Sevening. We'll get to that story in a moment, but first, President Joe Biden delivered his final address as the United States President to the United Nations General Assembly. World leaders gathered in New York to discuss the global conflict around the world as wars rage in the Middle East, Ukraine, and Sudan. In his last speech yesterday, Biden called on nations to band together amid these wars, as well as discussing growing concerns about China's influence. Biden said that the forces holding us together are greater than those pulling us apart. This discussion comes after Monday's Israeli strikes on Lebanon. The one-year mark is soon approaching of the Hamas attack in Israel.
President Sheila Gestring delivered her 2024 State of the University address last week. Gestring introduced additions in campus leadership such as Athletic Director John Schemmel. Enrollment numbers have also increased this year at both the Vermilion and Sioux Falls campuses. The construction of the Olympic-sized swimming pool at the Wellness Center has been pushed to spring of 2025. Churchill Haynes is also going to be updated starting this summer and will take about 2 years. If you missed the President's address, you can re-watch the live stream on the university's YouTube channel. Living in the residence halls, the occasional fire alarm goes off when someone forgets to put water in their ramen. However, this time, it was more than just that. On Thursday night, the fire department was called to Coyote Village after smoke filled the first floor. Someone had tried cooking a cinnamon roll in a toaster oven, which then caught on fire. Firefighters had students evacuate the building and checked floors while they extinguished the flame. Luckily, no one was injured other than the cinnamon roll. If you're cooking, keep an eye on your food. If you see or smell smoke, evacuate and call the fire department.
As new businesses are coming to Vermilion, members of the community gathered to celebrate the new location of MG Aesthetics. The ribbon-cutting ceremony was put on by the Vermilion Area Chamber and Development Company. MG Aesthetics offers services such as facials, makeup, lashes, and more. Madison Gregoire is the owner and is very excited about her new location and her business's future.
Downtown, it's more lively, and I can see out my window, and there's girls from the hair salon with foils in, and people getting together for coffees and stuff. It's lively. There's a lot of family-owned businesses in town, so I knew I always wanted to do something on my own.
Gregoire says she's happy to be standing next to other Vermilion women-run businesses. Other women-run businesses in Vermilion include Lover Girl Casey Designs, Eula Spa, Styles by Erica, and more.
Phase 2 of the Clark Street reconstruction project began on Monday. East Clark Street will be closed from North University Street to North Dakota Street. As a reminder, no parking or traffic will be permitted in the area during reconstruction. Parking lots 11 and 18 will be closed because of the construction. Those with an A parking permit are recommended to use parking lot 23, which is west of the South Dakota Union Building. The project is scheduled to be completed by November 30th.
With Vermilion's new elementary school completing construction, its first year of education has officially kicked off. On August 21st, Vermilion Elementary School students began the year with new playground equipment, classrooms, and learning environments. With more than 500 students enrolled, Principal Samuel Jacobs thinks some students are still adjusting to the new building.
It was difficult for a few of our kids because they were used to our routines that we had, but overall everything came together really nice, and it's a great space for kids to learn.
Jacobs is proud of his students' ability to adapt to change and has been happy to play an important role in student education for Vermilion. Along with the renovations to the actual space, the school also plans on implementing programs to bring children closer to nature. Moving on to Vermilion's high school, it's homecoming week. The homecoming parade will take place this Friday. Lakin Barta was announced as queen and Raleigh French as king during a coronation ceremony on Monday night. Parade lineup will begin at 1 and with the parade officially starting at 1:30. If you're interested in watching, the floats will head down Main Street. After the break, the Wolves get ready for opening night.
The University of South Dakota's Department of Media and Journalism.
You're never gonna know.
Fostering students' talent and creativity through the art of filmmaking. Share your stories. Bring your ideas to life. Discover your passion. Find your voice.
This is Coyote News.
The theater department's first show of the year opens this weekend. Coyote News' Sydney Colin spoke with the cast as they prepare for the show.
Over in the Warren M. Lee Center for the Fine Arts, a group of students are preparing for the theater department's first show of the semester. The Wolves follows a league soccer team. Number 25 is played by Brooke Hilding and is the team's captain. For Hilding, this show is very stylistically different from anything that she's done before.
We start with week 1. And we just go through like the basic warm-ups, and we're talking about the game and just anything that might come up during like a soccer warm-up practice. And then each scene just goes week by week by week, like you see different teams that we're facing and, you know, different challenges that are facing us that week. So
Mackenzie Layson plays number 7 in the Wolves, who's known to be the alpha of the team.
She's not the captain, but she's on top of the social hierarchy of the team. She's number 1.
To prepare for their roles as soccer players, the cast came to school a week early and worked with USD's women's soccer team.
We got on the field with them and like learned different like practices and drills, and then we eventually like played a scrimmage with them, which was really fun and exciting.
All of the characters go through their own personal struggle throughout the show. Anxiety, self-identity, and injuries are some of the challenges that these girls face.
She goes through, I'd say, quite the emotional journey in the show because, you know, she wants to play soccer and play professionally in college, and then she gets this debilitating injury that really puts her out for quite some time.
Through it all, the team discovers that the world is so much bigger than soccer itself.
Take a step back, appreciate what you have in the moment, because you never know what's gonna happen.
We are the Wolves.
For Coyote News, I'm Sydney Colin.
The Wolves' first performance is on Friday night and runs until October 5th.
Local bands, artists, and community members came together this weekend for the Music is Alive Festival. USD Sound of Music and Vermilion High School bands came together and shared their performance to the community at Prentice Park. During the show, many local artists gathered to display their talents to the crowds in the hopes of spreading their name and earning new customers. Ava Rott is one of those artists who came out to the show to show the community her talents.
It's really nice just to see art in the community, artists thriving here, and it's really fun to just be able to be around all of these great musicians and artists, especially like young people too. They see that and they look up to all these college students and high school students having it out there, and I feel like the community really appreciates that.
For more information about the band's next performances, check out each of the school's websites. A variety of USD bands are combining together for a showcase concert. Jazz Ensemble 1, Symphonic Band, Concert Band, and the Sound of USD Marching Band will be performing their pieces at the concert. It takes place in Alf's Auditorium on Sunday afternoon at 3, and the performance will last 2 hours. This event is free and open to the public and will be live streamed on the usd.edu website.
One USD student has written 1 act for the theater department and has recently come out with a movie. Coyote News' Parker Orr is live in the muck to learn more.
Thanks, Xander. I'm with Johanna Ziegler to talk about her writing career. So, Johanna, how was working and writing the film Church?
It was a very informative, very long project, but the takeaway is that I feel like I've completely transformed my skills in screenwriting and as just a creative writer in general. I mean, the project started when I was a freshman in college, taking inspiration from the Churchill Haynes Laboratory, because I thought what a funny name it was to be Churchill Haynes, and so I created a character whose first name is Churchill, and then it grew from there as a matter of like, well, what kind of person would carry a nickname like Church? What kind of person would have a personality to fit that name? And so I developed a short story, and then I reconnected with an old friend from film school who helped me create it into a short film, and it's just kind of blown out of proportion. It's completely taken off, and it's been so exciting to see it transform from something that's just been in my Google Drive to something that's now a half-hour short film that is kind of putting itself in conversation with cult classics like Napoleon Dynamite and Ferris Bueller. And we've been able to share this half-hour episode really with a lot of really supportive people, and I'm just so grateful to have even done it, and with people that are so talented and so kind. So yeah, it's been amazing.
And then you've written 2 one-act plays for the University of South Dakota Theater Department. Do you have anything in the works this year with the theater department?
Wow, I mean, you've done your research. I did. I wrote 2 one-acts and was able to direct one. I don't, at the moment, have plans to continue that for our one-act festival this year, just because I'm busy preparing to apply to grad school. But I mean, I have been in conversation with a playwriting professor last spring about potentially having one of my 10-minute plays maybe be incorporated into the one-act program this year, because they're kind of looking at restructuring it. But that's really at the discretion of the new student directors. You know, you always want them to have kind of creative control, and so if any of them are interested in working with me, I'd be happy to. But I'm grateful just to have the 2 one-acts that I did last year. So.
And then as a writer, how do you fix writer's block when it seems to come to your mind?
Pretty simple, actually. I put on a good Spotify playlist, and I take a very long walk. And I think by getting yourself out of the chair and putting yourself back into the real world, and I mean, for better or worse, eavesdropping on other people and exposing yourself to authentic human interaction, you're kind of defamiliarizing your notion of what people are and what stories are. And I think that helps me get out of the rut that I'm stuck in and maybe attack the writer's block from a new angle. And usually within like a day or 2, sometimes a week of doing that, that usually massages out the kinks and helps me move forward from the writer's block. Because I mean, when you're doing this professionally, you can't afford to let writer's block always be an excuse. So you got to keep going forward. So.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Johanna. Live with Coyote News, I'm Parker Orr.
Thanks, Parker. If you're interested in watching church, you can find the link to watch on their Instagram page.
With the load of classwork starting to ramp up, many students are looking for ways to relieve their stress and have fun with their friends for a night. The best solution to this for some students is swing dancing. The Swing Dance Club gives students an opportunity to spend a night listening to music and learning how to dance with a partner. The dances are mostly set to country music, with some West and East Coast music as well. Hannah Stager is the president of the Swing and Dance Club.
At least for me, it adds some levity to the work week of school. I have heavy course load and other things that I'm doing, and then to have the whole week this week, I've been thinking to myself, oh, I have the swing dance coming up. At least that's a time that I can set aside to just have some fun, relax, have some conversation, have some dancing.
The club hosts a dance monthly and hosts weekly practices for those who are wanting to improve their swing dancing. Stager wants students to know that no experience is needed to come to these dances. If you aren't sure how to swing dance, there are dancers who are ready to help you learn.
Pi Beta Phi is hosting their annual Pi Phi Sugar High. For a small entry fee, you can enjoy their all-you-can-eat ice cream and dessert bar. All proceeds go to Read, Lead, Achieve, which supports children's literacy. The event is happening right now at the Pi Beta Phi house and lasts until 7. Sorority and Fraternity Life and the Office of Service Learning are hosting Feed the Funnel. On October 2nd, volunteers will be packing 25,000 meals for Charlie's Cupboard and the Vermilion Food Pantry. The goal is to help squash food insecurity in the community. The opening ceremony will include a live performance of America the Beautiful, as well as a few words from the event's organizers. If you're interested in signing up to volunteer, check out their page on the USD Involved website. Next, on Coyote Sports, the football team picks up a win after a canceled game.
And we interview a club soccer player about their recent match.
Day in and day out. From one field on to the next. Dedicated, restorative, and driven. To the American farmer who represents the roots of our country, we thank you for all you do.
This is Coyote News.
After an extra bye week, the football team was back in action in the Dakota Dome. This is Coyote Sports. I'm Mohammed.
The volleyball team hopes to extend its 4-game win streak. I'm Jacob Pierce. The football team played its first game since the canceled Portland State game. The Coyotes took on the Drake Bulldogs for their 20th matchup of all time, the 4th since the turn of the century. South Dakota started strong as Keandre Jones-Logan returned the opening kickoff 99 yards for a touchdown. South Dakota would end the first half strong with this touchdown by Charles Pierre Jr. to make the score 28-3. Both offenses slowed down in the second half, but Travis Tice scored his second touchdown of the day to make the lead 35-3. South Dakota would go on to win 42-3 to improve the 2-1 on the season, as Tice and Pierre Jr. both finished with 2 scores. The Coyotes have a top 20 battle in the Dakota Dome this Saturday as they face number 17 ranked Southern Illinois Salukis in the first Missouri Valley game of the year. The women's tennis team faced off in the 12 101 player tournament at the Gopher Invite for their second competition of the fall season. Grace Chaddock continued her strong start to the season, going 3-0 in singles group yellow. Bia Havlikova and Selena Bird went 2-1 in singles play as well. Havlikova and Chaddock performed the best in doubles, going 3-1. The Coyotes are back in Colorado this weekend for the John Messick Invite.
After back-to-back wins against SDSU and Augustana, the Coyotes club soccer team jumped up to 3rd in the Great Plains Soccer Conference rankings, with top-place team Minot State coming to Vermilion. This is just the second home game for USD as they went 2-0-1 in a 3rd-game road trip. The Coyotes got the game started off well as they took the lead 1-0 going into half after this goal from Fabrice Bacunzi. South Dakota came out in the second half and kept the Beavers in check as they went on to win 2-0 to improve to 3-1-1 on the season with a 3-game win streak. Now USD sets second in the latest power rankings behind just North Dakota. Coyote News' Maggie Bishop is live in the muck with the player of the game for this weekend. Maggie?
Thank you, Mohammed. I'm here with Joseph Neoni to talk about his performance on the USD club soccer team. Joseph, what experience did you have with soccer before joining the USD club soccer team?
I've been playing all my life ever since I was a kid. So back in Zimbabwe, I was playing from primary school and then in high school. So I've been playing for a long, long time now.
And what do you think being player of the match this last game means for the rest of your season?
I think it was a huge honor as well as a benchmark for me to set for myself as well as for the team that most of the times the player of the match is given to the winning team. So we want to be in that position whereby the player of the match is always coming from our team. So yeah, it really set the benchmark for us and for the rest of the team so that we keep our performances high this season.
And do you think your team has very high expectations for this year?
Yes, we do. Because right now we have been noticing some huge improvements from the team last year in terms of the commitment, in terms of the players that we have, the coach that we now have who's putting in his all as well as his staff. So there's a real dedication, belief and commitment amongst the players, amongst the coach that we can go all the way.
And what do you think changed from last year to this year?
I would just say the commitment, as I said, first of all, and just the dedication, the hunger. A lot of the players that are in now are really hungry and they believe that we can really go all the way. So that's what we take with us during training. If you come to one of the training sessions, everyone will be going in as hard as they can. They'll be playing in to try and improve as much as they can. So yeah, just that.
Thank you for being here with us today, Joseph. Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Maggie Bishop.
Thanks, Maggie. The soccer club competes next week against Wayne State.
The triathlon team competed in their final regular season meet at the Prairie State Collegiate Cup. South Dakota took 4th place out of 12 teams. Duquesne, Black Hills State, and North Central took the top 3 positions. Franziska Neck led USD, finishing in 2nd out of 66 runners with a time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 52 seconds. Ella Spitz finished 5th as well for South Dakota. The Coyotes move on to the West Regional Championship next month. 2 USD men's golfers hit a hole-in-one this week. The Coyotes competed in the Zach Johnson Invitational against 13 other teams. As a team, South Dakota finished 9th, only 30 points behind Iowa State in 1st. Max Schmidtke led the Coyotes, finishing tied for 4th with a score of -3 after hitting a hole-in-one on hole 5 from 210 yards away on day 1. Logan Hammock on day 2 hit a hole-in-one on hole 14 from 192 yards away. Hammock finished tied for 54th out of 81 golfers. South Dakota competes next at the Tommy Invitational on Monday.
The volleyball team looked to extend their 4-game win streak as they ended conference play. Despite South Dakota having more kills than Iowa with Lauren Medke, Kylan Seelock, and Morgan Bodie having double-digit kills, the Hawkeyes won in 5. Meta continued her excellent play, leading the Coyotes in kills for her 7th straight game against Drake. She also picked up her 5th double-double in her last 6 games. South Dakota missed the sweep, losing set 3, but picked up the win as Cameron Ferris tied a career high with 30 digs. In the final game, Cheyenne Halady led South Dakota with a career high 15 kills, while Avery Van Hook had her 3rd straight double-double with 51 assists and 11 digs as they won in 4 sets over St. Louis in their first ever match. Van Hook earned her first Summit League Peak Performer of the Week after her double-doubles as the Coyotes start conference play in Denver tomorrow night. The swimming and diving team announced their 2024-2025 schedule. The Coyotes start with the red versus white exhibition this Friday, then face their first competition next week in Nebraska. USD has 3 Summit League duels with SDSU on the road, but Omaha and St. Louis in the Dakota Dome pool in January. The Coyotes finish the regular season with the Minnesota First Chance meet, then compete in the Summit League Championships in Iowa City from February 19th to the 22nd.
With homecoming week comes the homecoming game. The Tanagers welcome the Millbank Bulldogs to the Dakota Dome Friday night for their annual homecoming game. Vermillion is 1-2 on the season, while Millbank is 2-2. Both teams defeated Lakota Tech 55-0 earlier this season. Both teams also averaged 26 points per game, so it should be a high-scoring game Friday night.
That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students their favorite part about fall. Stay with us.
Do you feel tired and anxious at times? Do you feel like you can't focus on your school assignments? Exercising might be your solution. It helps you feel less anxious and gloomy. You can relax better and you suffer less from stress. You will get more energy, sleep better, and find it less difficult to remember all your courses. So move your body and be your own change.
This is Coyote News.
In Australia, a huge king penguin chick has become a social media celebrity. Pesto weighs in at 22 kilograms or 49 pounds at just 9 months old. This is the heaviest penguin chick that the Sea Life Melbourne Aquarium has ever had. His parents, Hudson and Tango, weigh 24 pounds each. Pesto weighs as much as both his parents combined. The penguin's fame has grown just like his size. More than 1.9 billion people around the world had viewed him through social media.
Sunday marked the first official day of fall.
We asked students what their favorite part about the season is.
Here's what they had to say.
My favorite part of fall is definitely Halloween, as you could probably tell.
The food. Do I need a reason for that? It's food.
Football! My favorite part about fall is like all the different fall flavors. Big pumpkin spice girly.
I love sweaters, honestly. I like to cover up and stuff, so that's my favorite part, is it finally getting cold.
The weather. I love the cool, windy weather.
I really like when the leaves turn different colors. I just think it looks really pretty.
Favorite part about fall is probably football games, because it's just fun to go to the atmosphere of the game and just have fun with friends at games.
Football games, to hang out with friends.
I think the weather changing and being able to wear fun coats.
Favorite part of fall is definitely the cold part. I hate heat, so definitely has to be the cold.
My favorite part about fall is when the leaves start to change and I get to go to the apple orchard and the pumpkin patch.
I don't really have anything favorite about fall. I think fall sucks. The coldness, it's okay, but it's gross and there's lots of bugs, so I don't like it.
What about you guys? What's your favorite part of fall?
The pumpkin spice lattes, definitely, definitely.
I'd have to say the clothes, just more cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like spring better, but I would have to also say the clothes. It's cozy, really good.
Yeah. I'd probably say my birthday. Coming up soon.
And that's all for Coyote News.
Pick up the volant for a look at the South Dakota Union's renovations.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of your USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.